Okay, just to quickly cover what I've done here. This color here is cadmium orange. That color there is raw umber. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in between each. Okay. The next color down here is ultramarine blue. There's 2 steps, a cold violet and a warm violet. And then as we come over here, it starts looking dark green, and that is our alizarin crimson. This is our bright red. That's our light, our bright red. There are a couple of other iterations of red, getting brighter, lighter. Our orange is here, but that's technically still a red. Our real orange is somewhere in here, and then it starts going yellow. Actually, I guess it starts going yellow here, and then gradually more and more until it hits raw umber over here. Okay, so these strings are essentially, if we just take one string and analyze it, this is orange. I've added white. I put it down here and I added white, and then more white, and then more white. So that color plus white, and then more white and more white. Okay, and that gives the light side. So you can see this is the bright side, this is the dark side of the figure. Now I've kicked up the difference between the two. You could actually lighten these up, and it would narrow the contrast between the light side and the dark side. So in this figure here, you can see that that's here there's not so much a difference between the light side and the dark side, but I probably worked a light and a dark up in this end of the scale. So sometimes you'll have a dark and a dark and then a light, so that's a little bit bright. There's a lot more contrast, so I would have been using top and bottom on that one. Still over here. Yeah, so that's that. So these are constructed, the dark side is constructed by taking the orange here, and now that's the ultramarine blue. We got all these colors by mixing the ultramarine blue and the orange. Now, so I could say I could use that, and that might pull it down, but you need to go at least 2 steps away, maybe even 3, to pull that color down. If it's too closely related, then you're just getting a parallel of that structure. So I actually went over to this color here. I added mostly that color to the orange to get this color, and then I added the orange back into that dark value here to get this color, and then I added the orange back in again plus a little bit of white to get the reflected light. So that's our deep shadow, that's our bedbug line, and all these colors are slightly lighter in here, and there are reflected lights. So I'm going to continue that pattern over to here. Okay, so just to recap, we've only got 3 colors: ultramarine blue, cadmium orange, and here is the raw umber. So I mixed between ultramarine blue and cadmium orange. The first 2 dark values are the violets, and then where it's the mass tone actually looks a little bit on the green side, and it but it's not. When you add white, you can see that it's got that alizarin crimson look to it. And then just making the color step so that each one looks like it relates to the color before it. You can see this color is 2 steps away and it doesn't look as related. So you know you've gone the right amount when it looks like it's related to the color before. And then it should look like even steps as it goes along until you get to the orange. That's a bit of a jump, it is, but you can see that it doesn't look bad when you've got the orange in there. But that's our strongest, sorry, the white in there. That's our strongest color. And then these 4 colors, or 4 values, are basically between the orange and the raw umber. And then from the raw umber to the blue, we've got 5 values in here. Going through the blues, this would be deepest, darkest teal, and then you start getting into the greens over here, and then the warm greens over there. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. These all, I've just kept 2 values of these down here. If I need to modify or use them as background colors, I don't need much contrast. All of the detail you can see is in these flesh tones right here. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful.